Hey everybody, welcome to my members only video for today. I got a little bit of a treat for you today. Hopefully this is something that you might find interesting and is not too boring. I found something in my vault or my archives, whatever you want to call it, and that is this. This is a script. It's an unused script of mine that I made in 2019, and I had dug this out and I was going to make a properly edited video out of this, but in all honesty, it was too long and I did not feel like shooting this and editing this. It would have been a hell of a lot of work. So I ended up rewriting it completely, making it a much shorter video, but I wanted to give you the full unedited script. Okay. This was going to be called Behavioral Interview Questions, How to Answer. Okay, and this is the script. Here we go. Hey everyone, today I'm going to give you the best way to answer behavioral interview questions in a job interview. If you find the idea of being asked behavioral questions intimidating, trust me, you're not alone. Most people find the thought of them disconcerting, and this has kept many people up at night worrying about their job interview the next day. However, the good news is that everything's going to be fine. We can easily handle behavioral interview questions by doing some basic preparation. Let's dive in. Okay, first of all, what is a behavioral interview question? Well, back in the 1960s and 70s, when you went to a job interview, they would ask you traditional interview questions, like how many years experience you have, where did you go to school? These were questions you could answer with a word or a phrase. Not that hard, but the problem was it was pretty easy for candidates to exaggerate, or shall we say, massage the truth when answering them. What's more, it was quite difficult for interviewers to detect that. So, to solve this problem in the 1970s, in comes a company that advocates a new thing called behavioral questions. Tell me about a time you used innovation to solve a problem at work. Describe a time when you successfully motivated a team by displaying vision. To answer these questions, you needed to tell a detailed story. For most people, not something you can convincingly make up on the spot. And it can demonstrate the extent to which you've used your skills and knowledge. Interviewers like to ask behavioral questions because it's easier for them to tell the validity and the veracity, that's the truthfulness, of your answers. As a result, behavioral questions became very popular in job interviews, and this trend is continuing today. So pretty much all candidates now should expect them. Now, here's the deal. Behavioral questions are based on the theory that the best way to predict your future behavior is to look at your past behavior. Now, is this true? Mostly. This is what studies have found, and it has a certain logic to it. Is it universally true? No, it isn't. People learn, people develop, and become wiser. This is, after all, the reason we value experience. Just because you did something stupid when you were 15 years old doesn't mean you will automatically do the same thing again when you're 30. Although YouTube has shown that it does for some people, i.e. Fail Army. Check out that channel, by the way, if you've never heard of it. Fail Army. But everyone needs to understand that when you answer a behavioral question by telling a story, that's how the interviewer assumes you'll behave if they hire you. So you need to use that as a principle to frame your answers. Don't tell a story you wouldn't do again tomorrow or do over. Now, let's look at how to answer these questions. Like I said earlier, preparation is key. If you have a job interview coming up, I recommend you do this. First of all, think up and note down 5 of your success stories. things from your professional career that you want them to know, that show your value and your abilities. Now remember these 5 stories when you get to the interview. You answer behavioral questions with stories. These 5 stories should leap to mind. And if you can use any of these stories to answer the question, do it. This ensures that over the course of the interview, you have communicated the most compelling reasons for them to hire you. You won't leave the interview feeling like you sold yourself short or didn't make a good pitch for yourself. Besides, these will be your backup responses if they stump you with a question and you're drawing a blank and can't think of a specific example. I mean, after all, it's a well-established fact that normal human beings don't think very clearly when they're nervous or in a high-pressure situation, like a job interview. Pulling out one of these stories can be a lifesaver. Whoops, I've written myself some strange, I don't know if you can see this, some strange arrows. I got to go down here and whoa, this goes on for a couple of pages. Anyway, secondly, there are roughly 3 main categories of behavioral questions. The first is important questions. This is where they ask you about a time you improved something, overcame a challenge, or made a decision. And when I said important questions, I meant improvement questions. This is an example of where I can't read my own handwriting, something that all amazing people do, by the way. The second is teamwork questions. This is where they ask you about a time you worked in a team, communicated with someone, motivated someone, or displayed leadership. The third is negativity questions. This is where they ask you about a time you didn't get along with someone, or disagreed with someone, or did something that failed. Some argue that technical questions are a 4th category, while others argue that management or personality or priorities questions are a 5th category. Regardless, think about examples of these from your past and note them down. Make sure they describe behavior you would do again in the future, and you can fully answer in well under 2 minutes. Thirdly, to help you anticipate questions you may encounter, Google behavioral interview question plus the job title of the position for which you're interviewing. For example, behavioral interview question, customer service representative, or behavioral interview question, director of marketing. I highly recommend doing this, but don't freak out if they give you a list of 50 behavioral-based questions. I would prepare 10 stories total, 5 success stories and 5 other stories based on this research. Remember, a story can be an answer for more than one particular question. Fourthly, when answering, use the STAR-L format. The STAR format is quite well known and popular. It stands for situation, task, action, result. This means that when you're asked to tell a story, start with where you were and what was going on, what you were asked to do, what you did, and how it turned out. My personal recommendation is to also include L for learning. You end by describing what this taught you, even if it only reinforced a principle you knew already. This is the STAR-L format. Well, I've got to insert a page here, apparently. You see, interviewers are really wanting to understand your thought processes and your behavior. Answering in this format makes those very clear. What can sometimes help with this is to write STAR-L on a piece of paper, in front of you during the interview, and keep your pen on the letter you're describing as you tell the story. Also, for those of us that tend to ramble, or lose our train of thought when we're nervous, write down the question in shorthand, maybe a word or two, while they're asking it. Then you can glance at this while you're answering to help keep your answer on topic. And there you go. Don't worry, you don't need to worry about behavioral-based interview questions ever again. Just do a little preparation and crush it. And then I ended off by all my promotional stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video to anyone that could benefit. I'm Bill, the company's expert. Thank you for watching my videos. You're awesome, right? Which you probably heard about 1,000 times by now. And then some kind of a lame-ass joke. Yes, that's right. I pre-scripted my joke. Now you know. I'm that pathetic. I spent 2 hours on my hairdo before I made this video. You let me know if it paid off. What a funny joke. Anyway, so that is a script. I didn't feel like shooting that. That would have taken me more than a day to shoot that. But there you go. I've done a lot of videos recently about behavioral interview questions. Hopefully I've covered it pretty extensively. If I haven't, or you still have questions and would like to know something, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you found this at least somewhat interesting. I have one other script that I'm going to share with you. And I don't know if I'll do it on my next video, but one other thing from the vaults that you might be interested in. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for being a member of my channel. You guys are awesome. Let me know in the comments if you have any requests or anything like that. And I always pay attention to you guys first. Thank you very much. Have a great day. You're awesome. Take care.